What's up, you guys? So I'm here with a new video today, and I'm here to do an interesting discussion video. I'm here to do a discussion on what if the extra deck was increased from 15 cards to 20 cards. I got this idea on my Facebook post from this morning. I basically just posted about how I was going to do new videos for the week and how I wanted pretty much all my subscribers' feedback. I wanted them to be videos for you guys. Everyone always knows that's how I usually do my videos. I like your guys' input. And I was scrolling through the comments, what people had said, things they wanted to see, and I noted them all down. This one caught my eye immediately, though, because I had actually planned to make a video about this like ages ago, and it never really happened. Because I mean, it still hasn't changed. We're still sitting at 15 cards, but it's kind of cool to just think, the benefits and I guess maybe the benefits and disadvantages of getting 5 extra cards in our extra deck. Ignore this Geargia deck here. This is just an old list from one of our regionals that I never posted. I meant to, I never did though, because Geargia is everywhere. So ignore Geargia, ignore the main deck. I'm using Geargia as a prime example though today because I feel it's one of the decks that it's able to spam out rank 4s and rank 3s, and it's one of those decks that you're always kind of fighting for extra deck space. You always have to fight for, am I gonna run, am I gonna run Giga Brilliant? Am I gonna run Tempo? Am I gonna run any of these guys, am I going to run Zen mains over Mecha Engineer? Just little things like that. Am I going to run a second Dweller depending on the format? Am I going to run one arc or two arc? All those just things that I'm sure many Geargia players and many players who have run rank 4 and rank 3 decks can say is that usually there's always space issue, and I know there's other decks that have that issue too. I know Dragon Rulers, different variants have that issue to where you just want to have maybe even just one extra card. That one extra card can make all the difference. When I built decks before, I always end up like, crap, I'm at 17 extra deck cards. I have to cut 2 cards, and I have to really think, which one am I going to cut? What if I need it in this situation? All these random things, come to mind. And there's all these things that I know a lot of you guys can relate to is that if we had just one more extra deck space, or if we bumped it up to 20 and got 5 extra deck spaces, how much better it would make it, how much more convenient it would make it. It would take, I guess, the stress out of building a good extra deck. Because I think one of the hardest things is that even like when people net deck people, it happens all the time. You're gonna net deck their extra deck, and then you're gonna kind of question them, like, why didn't you run that card? Why did you only run one copy of Arc instead of two? Why didn't you run Gigaga Cowboy or Heartland Draco? Like, were you not looking for the situations where, it's degenerate, but you could steal games based on the situation? Why weren't those cards included? Why did you choose to run Zen mains over Mecha Engineer? Just little things like that. And I guess I can just say, like, what I think the overall benefits would be is if we did get 5 more slots. This was an extra deck that was came with this deck, and I looked over it, I didn't change anything, and the format had been where water was everywhere and double dweller was just needed. If a deck could spam out rank 4s quite easily, make a dweller against water, you're in a really good situation. And so very standard stuff. And like when it became pure Gear Gears, it was just you had the ability to make the rank 3s, and you just had to pick which ones you wanted. Soul Silver Mountain was good, had a, stunning back row, bringing back Earth monsters, good stuff. Giga Brilliant was just random because it could increase your Gear Giants to 26. I think they had said it was good like against Boojins, like they could get around pretty much everything. Alucard, everyone knows I love Ghost Trick Alucard. It was just needed. It was back row removal. It was good at 18, had a solid base attack. Tempo, just so you couldn't get arc, stuff like that. Get rid of problem XYZs. Zen mains stall factors, but at the same time, I like Mecha Engineer. And that's where this extra 5 cards would come in handy. It's where it basically an extra deck is setting up, your best monsters, and then you have your situational based cards. You have situations where this card will be better than another one. Where Zen mains is so a lot of people just don't like Zen mains. It's kind of funny because I've always liked Zen mains, and I've noticed like recently, like a lot of people just don't play this card anymore. Usually they're just playing, if they're playing rank 3s at all, they're playing Mecha Engineer, they're playing Tempo, they're playing other stuff. Alucard's just become a staple basically because it's one of the best, if not the best, rank 3s out right now. Being able to pop back row, being able to pop armors, being able to just pop pretty much set anything is just really good. And it just made me wonder, 5 extra slots, like the 5 extra slots I put in was Black Ship of Corn. A lot of people don't play the card. Some people do, some people don't. It's situational. A lot of these cards, these extra cards, are very situational, to where you go to look in your extra deck, and I can't. How many people can relate? How many times you're like, oh, if I only ran that card, I could get out of this almost impossible situation, and there's only one card that can do it. Um, And that's the thing that would happen is that Black Ship of Corn could get you out of problematic things, being able to send a monster. It could be that extra burn damage you need. Heartland Draco, obviously, still games with extra burn damage. Maestroke, I think, is one of the best ones to talk about. Maestroke has gotten cut from pretty much every extra deck I've ever seen recently. A lot of people just don't play this card anymore. I've always liked this card. It stalls, it flips monsters. It's just good. It was good against Boojins. It was good against a lot of things. Being able to turn monsters, phase down to where you can't get craned, you can't, you're not going to get hit by any of the like support cards if they're not face up, which is really beneficial. Maestro could just get you out of situations where other cards couldn't. Like you could Maestro a Draco sack while it has the tokens and then Dark Hole, and just crazy things like that. Like very situational plays, but they come up a lot. And I think that that's one thing is that with an extra 5 cards, we'd be able to include more of the cards we want to play. I also use Gear Gear as an example because in pure Gear Gears you have to automatically start with three Gear Giant X. Like that's immediate. Like the minute you build the deck, you have to have at least 3 Gear Giant X in the pure build because you're going to spam them really easily. You're going to recycle them with Degusto Emerald. It's another card that I feel if you play the deck you should put in there because it's like running a 4th Gear Gear game. It gets your cards back and nets you a card. It's good. Other cards, Exton Knight and 101, they became the best rank 4s in the game, the staple rank 4s in the game. Every deck, if they could play them, if a player could afford them, needed to put them in their deck because they were just that good. Some people even upped it to 2 arcs, 2 Exciton Knights. It depended on what deck they were playing and if they had the space for it. And I've seen like in a lot of deck profiles, you'll always notice that if you rewatch them, you'll notice people say, "Why didn't you run this card? Why didn't you run this card?" What's the player's answer? I didn't have the room. I couldn't fit it. It's little things like that that make this video like really relevant because any deck that can, every deck pretty much XYZs or synchros at one point. Obviously, you have to be running tuners to synchro, but you do have those situations where having like synchros included, like you have to pick, like, you kind of have to fight for, do I want to run Colossal Fighter, do I want to run Crimson Blade, or if you're running like Heretics or Dragon Rulers in general, anything that makes 8s, you have to decide, oh, do I want to run this card, do I not want to run this card, having to fight for those 15 slots as it seems, making the better decision, and when you turn in your deck list, not regretting not running a card, and the situations are going to come up where you do regret it, where you're like, oh, if only I ran that card, why didn't I run that card? So that's pretty much the whole point of this video. What do you guys think would happen if we got an extra 5 cards? Would you guys like it? Would you not like it? Some people may not like it. Some people would say, no, fuck that. Like, we don't want 5 extra cards. You'd have 5 more possible answers to the field that I put up, and vice versa. I know a lot of people, there's definitely going to be two-sided. People are going to want to say that it's good to have extra cards, to have extra possibilities, extra situational outs, and people are like, no, you get 15 cards, you use those 15 cards. If you didn't include a card, that's your problem. That's how some people are, and I respect that side too, because a lot of times, like, you'll be playing a match, you'll be like, oh, I should have included that card. Well, I didn't think of it at the time. So that's where this topic's really relevant, and I like it. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I'd like to start a good discussion in the comments. Would you want to see 5 more cards in the extra deck? Would you not want to see 5 more cards in the extra deck, and why? Um, just relate some stories. What are cards you always wanted to put in your extra deck for whatever reason, and you just couldn't because space did not allow it? Were there situations that you wish you had cards like Maestro, cards like Mech Equip Engineer over cards like Zen Mains, or running Double Dweller? I don't know if people still play Double Dweller, but like it's when you have to like cut cards. It's like, oh well, I don't want to run Dweller, so I have to include one more card, and then you'll have the problem of, I have these 4 rank 4s that I could put in there. Which one's going to be the most beneficial to me? Do I want to steal games with Cowboy or Heartland Draco? Do I want to stall and, possibly get over problematic decks like Boojins and Noble Knights and stuff that the monster has to be face up? Do I want Black Ship of Corn to just get rid of problematic monsters and then burn them for 1,000? That could end up winning me the game. Like, I can't tell you how many times I've been looking for a Black Ship of Corn in my extra deck. Like, if only I ran that card, I probably would have won this game right now. And you'll see that those situations come up based pretty much in any deck you play. I just use Geary as an example because it seems to be like in most profiles I've seen, they always have a problem figuring out the perfect extra deck. And honestly, the perfect extra deck does not exist. There's always going to be cards you want to run that you don't have the space for. And if Konami decided to one day turn it over to where you could use 20 extra deck cards, how beneficial or non-beneficial would it be for the game? That's what I'd like to hear in the discussion below. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Give it a thumbs up. Feel free to share your stories and stuff like that related to this topic, and also let me know any other topics you'd like me to discuss here on my channel. I really like this topic a lot, so I hope you guys enjoyed it too, and just give me some good feedback on what you feel the benefits and the negative side of having extra, 5 extra deck slots in the deck would be. And yeah, that's all I gotta say, guys. Hope you enjoyed it, and thank you for watching.